Daubers. Daubers are our hot topic, and I've got a variety of them to show you. Wooden ones, sponge ones, throw them around. Even fabric ones. I haven't got these ones out yet to play with. And then, you know, there's always ways of making your own too, right? So some ideas are not new, but just, you know, some people may not have seen them before, so I definitely want to just share a variety of ways of making dots. Okay, so mandala designs are quite popular too, and a lot of different varieties of sizes of dots, and there's a lot of varieties of ways of doing dots. So that's what I want to share with you today in today's hot topic. The first thing I want to do to really is, honestly, guys, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your support and wonderful kind words and encouragement to keep going and keep building. And just, I'm having so much fun with it. And if you guys think I'm a little bit crazy with my website, I know I used to do my own website when I had my salon. And I used to post all the pictures of all the nail designs, and I used to have like a resource area for my beauty industry, you know, some tips and tricks and stuff like that. So I guess I just have it in me. I just love creating a spot for you guys. And so, you know, everybody that has jumped on my site member access, you guys are wonderful, but I do know that there's a few people that have different reasons why they can't get on my site, so that's okay. I've made another option for you guys. I've downloaded it all into my Google Drive so that I'm able to share the links with you guys to download. So you guys can keep all the videos on your devices too, if that's what you choose. You need your internet access, guys. You need to use a Chrome browser. And really, to see these videos, it's best to use a desktop, okay? The bigger you can have that monitor, the better you can see all those strokes. And if you can, Chromecast is a big thing too. People are Chromecasting the videos right onto their TVs now, so you can really get me life-size. So I just want to give you guys a little bit more heads up about these daubers. And I'm actually going to show you down here on my heavily painted desk here. All right, so we have a variety here, and yes, Q-tips are one of them. Okay, so definitely there's so many different ways of making dots, and depending on how small or big you want to do them, we're going to put in some red and white here, just play around, because those are most of our holly colors here. And definitely you can play around with, you know, different centers and flowers and all kinds of different ways with these daubers. Okay, so we have a sponge set that's on wood, okay, as well, different sizes. All right, so if you're making smaller ones, you know, definitely these gotta be dry when you work with them, so that it'll really help absorb the paint. Okay, so a lot of times with these spongy ones, you got to kind of spin them around a little bit to get the color, and then maybe a little bit of pouncing. Okay, and then you can get that highlight in your berry all at the same time. Okay, I'll just show you a little bit on the paper here, and you're just going to press down. Okay, so if you want a little bit more of a swirly look, you can, you know, give it a little bit of a spin, okay, because these ones have a lot of sponge on them. Right, so these other ones that we have, there's 5 in them, and we get 2 of them with the big one and 3 little ones. Okay, so mine are quite old. I've had them for a while and they've been beat up, but I also knocked the sponge right off of them, guys. Okay, so you do got to be a little bit careful, and especially if you've had them for a while. You see that this one here is starting to fray around the edges. All right, so definitely they do tend to break down a little bit, and I do believe it was because how I washed them out. All right, so definitely you can, you know, still use this one here. It's still going to give you your little circle here, even though you might have knocked your sponge off. Okay, it's still going to give you a circle. Okay, but the biggest thing about these guys here is how you clean them, guys. All right, so we have an old rag here. I'm just going to quickly show you that how I do these guys, and I don't like to leave them in water for too long because I find that the glue that holds the sponge on will break down, and so you definitely want to try and wash them out pretty quickly. So what I do is I just keep adding water to my sponge, and I keep blotting it on a towel until I get all that color out. Okay, no twisting into your towel, okay, because you will knock these little sponges right off. So you can get these sponges all at Donna Dewberry, onestroke.com, or I can get them in here and send them to you across Canada if you want. All right. So those are two of my favorite tools to use for, you know, quick dots, and then having the variety of sizes really easy. Okay. So our easiest way to do things too is just doing little dots. A lot of times just using the back of our, okay, so if you want to do little tiny ones, okay. So what you're going to do is try to figure out your sizes when you're doing mandala sizes. Okay, so if you notice, if you keep dabbing, you're going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So maybe you want to do a little design on your project with some dots, okay? Then if you want to make them really, really small, then what you got to do is count the dots. So if you have two big ones and then you want a little one, then you're going to have, every time you go to make that design, you're going to have to go 1, 2, and 3. And if you want it really small, then you go 3 and then hit it. Okay, so this is going to help you determine the size of your dot. So if you want big ones, then you're just going to go right into the paint every time and go ahead and plop down. But if you do want a little smaller one, then you just knock some of that paint off, and then you can make them really, really tiny. So a lot of another way of doing things is also with just some Q-tips. Okay, so maybe you don't have the daubers around, so you can always use a little bit of a Q-tip. Okay, and this is actually going to give you 5 dots, or how many Q-tips you put in there all at the same time. So you can kind of knock it on the side and maybe only do 1 or 2, or just use 1 if you really want to individually do your little dots. Okay, so what I suggest you guys do is keep your elastic band a little lower on, don't put it in half, okay, because if you put it in a little bit lower, you're able to spread it out a little bit. Okay, so test it a couple times and make sure that they're all even, so that when you go and put down, you know, maybe one is a little bit lower, so you have to raise it up, so then that way all 5 of them are going to actually hit at the same time. Okay, so this is you know, another painting hack idea, right? Is it ideal? Are you going to get, you know, the same? Sometimes no. Sometimes you have to play around with them. So again, there's pros and cons for everything, guys. And but in a pinch, you know, you can, you know, maybe have a little bit more focus if you do one at a time. All right, and then you can always just use your little detailer to put a little highlight spot in there. So just a little quickie on daubers, and mostly I just wanted to kind of give you some heads up too on how to clean these guys, because they will break and fall apart on you after a while if you're not careful with them. And I know from experience, because I learned everything the hard way. So thank you everybody that has jumped on for my quick little hot tips